What's going on, guys? Today we're talking about the Zillow Zestimate. Oh yeah, this is going to be a good video and why I never trust that Zestimate when I take a look at it and why you shouldn't either. Coming up right after this. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel that's all about real estate. If this is your first time tuning into my YouTube channel, welcome. My name is Alex and I post videos 3 times a week every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If you get any value out of these videos, I just ask that you hit that like button down there because it greatly helps the YouTube algorithm and helps videos like this get viewed more and educate more people, which is my primary goal with this YouTube channel. Now on to the video you're waiting for. So the Zillow Zestimate, the famous Zillow Zestimate that everyone looks at, right? It's almost like an addiction, right? They just check it every single day, like the stock market, to see, oh, has their home's value gone up? Has it gone down? What's the increased percentage over the year? Now, how this can be extremely fun to just look at, I'm gonna explain in this video why it's highly inaccurate. And when it comes to selling your house and working with a real estate agent, me being a real estate agent, it's one of my worst nightmares when, one of my clients brings up the Zillow Zestimate. Primarily interesting, if you go to the Zillow website, you can see whatever city, primary city that you're located in, you can find the median error to actually how inaccurate these calculations can be. I'm located in the Puget Sound area, so Seattle, Washington. And if you go to the Zillow website, look at Seattle, you'll find a median error of 2.2%. And then this is really interesting, guys. Within 20% of the sale price, they are 99.4% correct. So essentially what they're saying here is that they're 100% on their calculations within 20% of the sale price. 20%. So essentially what they're telling you is that if you own a $1 million house, they are plus or minus $200,000 of what that house could sell. If you don't really understand the market and you look at these Zillow estimates, say you own a $1 million house out in Seattle and you do not consult with a highly educated real estate agent, right, that knows your market, what houses are selling for right now in your neighborhood, right? And say you just decide to not list with a real estate agent, do the for sale by owner route because you think it's gonna save you money, right? And you go on to Zillow. Oh, my property's worth $1 million. Right? You put it on at 1 million, maybe you get a lot of offers, in a week, right? In reality, that property was actually worth 1.2 million, 1.25 million all day long. I want you to do, just for fun, go on to Zillow and see what the property sold for and what the Zestimate was. What you're gonna find is that it's sometimes higher, sometimes it's way lower, right? And this just goes to, my main argument that Zillow can't be 100% correct because there's way too many factors that go into pricing a property correctly, and only a good real estate agent that knows that market can get really close to that market value price of your property. The first argument against the Zillow Zestimate is a hyperlocal market. Essentially what this means is each neighborhood is different than the neighborhood across the street. Your house could be different than your neighbor's house, and no online evaluation system will pick up on this. Having a highly experienced real estate agent that works in that market, does sales in that market, maybe even does sales in your specific neighborhood, knows what the price per square foot of houses are selling for, and knows exactly what your house would sell for and the true market value of your property. And the second argument against the Zillow Zestimate is mortgage interest rates. Mortgage interest rates directly correlate with the buyer's borrowing power, right? So why would you not calculate this when I would say the majority of Americans can only afford a house if they finance it? If you have a $160,000 loan and that mortgage interest rate goes up only 1%, you're gonna pay $30,000 more over the life of the loan. So you can see on a smaller scale how big of an impact just 1% of an interest rate is. And when you start talking about a $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 loan, those numbers get a lot bigger. Zillow doesn't account for is that, say today, yeah, we have historically low interest rates like 3.6%, right? And say a X amount of number of buyers can afford your property. Fast forward a year or 2 years, Hypothetically, let's say interest rates go to 5%, they go to 6%. Well, now only a limited amount of buyers can afford your property. And if you have a smart real estate agent and even just your basic knowledge, right, you're gonna have to adjust your list price and everyone else's in the housing market as well, because interest rates are a lot higher and borrowing power, went way down. My third argument against the Zillow Zestimate, and I actually had personal experience with this, is that there's no comparables for the subject property, and the subject property is so unique, right, that there's just no way any online evaluation system can give you a correct list price. So I had a listing that was super unique, and the Zillow Zestimate was extremely high in my opinion on this property. And actually the property didn't even sell after being on the market for over a year. So what I'm trying to get at with this is when you have a property that's super unique, right? And you can't find any comparables similar to that property. That property is gonna sell out. Where is a buyer gonna submit an offer? What is it worth to a buyer? And that's the question you have to ask yourself, because a super unique property can actually hurt the value of the property. What Zillow was doing was looking at similar properties in the square footages and then just multiplying it by the average price per square foot in the area, which gave my listing a extreme valuation on the property. Now there's a couple problems with this. When a seller looks at the valuation, they're wondering, why are we not listing at this price? So on the real estate agent side, there's a lot of problems with the Zillow Zestimate being highly inaccurate, because it just doesn't account for the property being so unique in other situations like that. So that's a little warning for you out there if you have a super unique property that you think like is a 1 out of 1, right? And it's only gonna apply to a certain niche of buyers that are looking for that certain property, which in reality is probably gonna hurt the property's value a lot, right? Because you're not gonna have the full mass of buyers looking at that property. Last argument that I have against the Zillow Zestimate, and this is kind of becoming more prevalent where I'm doing sales, is personal beliefs. So in certain cultures, when they buy a house, the house needs to face east to west. There needs to be a certain amount of sunlight coming in the house. Most times the master bedroom can't be right above the stove, right? There's different cultural beliefs that actually hurt the value of a property with you not even knowing it. This is why I truly believe that no house is the same and your neighbor's house is different than yours when it comes to value, even if they're cookie cutter, even if they're exactly the same. And this is why there's no way that any online evaluation system can be 100% accurate without having a physical human being out there looking at the property. So there you guys have it. Hopefully you liked the video. I just want to make you guys aware of the inconsistencies when it comes to the Zillow Zestimate, and put a comment below about what you think of the Zillow Zestimate and what you think of Zillow as a whole. All right guys, stay tuned for the other video coming later this week, and we'll see you guys then. Peace.